Hi fans of online entertainment, it's time again to do another unboxing video. So this time we're going to be doing the Art Garfunkel original album classics. Now this is a box set that came out in 2012 and this includes all of his first 5 solo albums. So I'll just zoom it there for you so you can all have a look. And you can see it on the back too. So here's the back of the box with all the albums mentioned. And it gives a little bit of a write-up on the box. So you can just have a look at it there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So as you can see, it has the first 5 albums in here. It's got Angel, Clare, Breakaway, Watermark, Fate for Breakfast, and Scissors Cut. I got this box set for €17. So 5 albums for 17. What a bargain. And this is, of course, Art Garfunkel's solo material after the demise of Simon and Garfunkel. If you want to check my Simon and Garfunkel unboxing video, you can check it on this channel right here. And the same with Paul Simon's complete albums collection box set. So now, this time, we're doing Artie. So, let's get started. Let's get them all out. Come on, let's get them all out there. Come on. Whoops, they all fell out at the same time. I'm living on the edge. Right, I'll just stick the box to the side. So I'll just put these 4 out of the way. And here is Art Garfunkel's first solo record, Angel Clare, from 1973. Then here's the back. Now, my dad owns this album on an individual release, like in a jewel case CD. And now I'm finally here with having this record as well for myself. And he actually on the front there looks like Curly from the Three Stooges, which I watched one of their movies a few weekends ago, and I'm telling you, I was blown away by how brilliant they are. Right, so this of course has his song, his first big solo hit single, All I Know, which was also played in the Chicken Little movie. And with All I Know, it could be like saying All I Want, which are song titles by Codaline, and then by Joni Mitchell from 1971's Blue. And on the subject of the singer-songwriter thing, Art Garfunkel is one of the only folk singers who's not a songwriter, even though on the back of the box it says he's a songwriter. But that is not true. He didn't write a single song, which is why in Simon and Garfunkel, Paul Simon wrote all the songs. And on the subject of Paul Simon actually, I think, is credited on this album. And I think he's on the track Down in the Willow Garden, which also the Everly Brothers had covered. Because, as I said before, Simon and Garfunkel are like the contemporary Everly Brothers. Right, so what have we else got here? He also does the cover of Barbara Allen, which Bob Dylan and the Everly Brothers also covered, which is pretty cool. And then there's a song in here called Old Man, which is also a Neil Young song from 1972's Harvest, the year before when this record came out. And then My Old Man by Joni Mitchell from Blue, and Lou Reed from 1980's Growing Up in Public, which is pretty cool. He also does the Van Morrison cover called I Shall Sing, because it has Paul Simon's name written on it. And then he also does Traveling Boy. Traveling Boy could be like saying Traveling Band, which is by Creedence Clearwater Revival on this year's 1970 50th anniversary of Cosmo's Factory. And Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel will also be 50 this year. It's coming up now, this day next week actually, which is cool. Then Boy in Traveling Boy is an album titled by U2, which is 40 this year, and again for me, second only to Phil Collins' Face Value as the greatest 80s debut album of all time. And then Boy, a song titled by Little Mix from their 2013 album Salute, and then About the Boy from the same album as well, and then Mad About the Boy by Status Quo from 1976's Blue for You, which is very cool. And then with a song in here called Mary Was an Only Child, it was nearly the same as Jesus Was an Only Son, which is by Bruce Springsteen from 2005's Devils and Dust. So they're all the main songs. And then, in fact, I think Jim Gordon and Carl Radle, who played with Eric Clapton on his Layla album, are also credited as guests on this, which is pretty cool. Now all the discs are the same, so I'll just pull it out just to give you a sample. I'll just see if I can do it with one hand here. Just show you a bit of a sample of it. And they're all the same, basically. So yeah, this might be a cool solo debut album. And in that same year, Paul Simon released There Goes Rhymin' Simon. So I nearly would feel that if Simon and Garfunkel were still together, this could have 1973 could have been a possible 6th studio album from them. So yeah. And then there's also the last track in it called Another Lullaby. And then Lullaby is a song titled by Leonard Cohen from 2012's Old Ideas. So yeah, that's that record. And also, J.J. Cale plays the guitar on this record on some of these tracks. And in that same year, J.J. Cale released his album Really, which was the follow-up to Naturally. And also, Mr. Jerry Garcia is featured on this as well. I'm not sure what he did with the Grateful Dead at that point. Right, so that's that record for you. So, let's stick this back into the box. And now, we get Art Garfunkel's second solo album. Breakaway, from 1975. Then here's the back. And this album is celebrating its 45-year anniversary this year, which is really cool. So on this album, he does a cover of the Stevie Wonder song, I Believe When I Fall in Love It'll Be Forever, which is on his 1972 album Talking Book. And then Forever on its own is a song titled by Kiss from 1989's Hot in the Shade, which is pretty cool. And then he also does a song called Ragdoll, which are song titles by both Aerosmith from 1987's Permanent Vacation and by The Four Seasons, which is cool. And as a matter of fact, My Little Town, which is also on Paul Simon's Still Crazy After All These Years album, it also has Paul Simon on it. So basically, we have another one of those My Little Town as well. So I think it's the same track basically. And this album also features Art Garfunkel's another big solo hit for him, I Only Have Eyes for You, which is an amazing song. For You is also by Status Quo and Bruce Springsteen from Green's Fantasy Park and then Rockin' All Over the World. And then For You Blue by the Beatles from Let It Be, which is celebrating 50 this year, which is pretty cool. And then Phil Ramone produced this album, and so did Paul Simon. And then Phil Ramone, I think, also produced Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks, which actually is celebrating its 45-year anniversary tomorrow, January 20th. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, there's a lot of cool ones in here as well. So yeah, this might be a cool record. So yeah, that's that one. Let's just take it back into the box. Right, his third solo album, Watermark, from 1977. And then here's the back. And on this album, he does a cover of What a Wonderful World, which features Paul Simon and even James Taylor as guest vocalists, which is really cool. And then there's also Tony Levin, who's the bass player in Peter Gabriel's solo band, playing the bass on that. And What a Wonderful World is also by Sam Cooke, and then covered by Brian Ferry from 1974's Another Time, Another Place, which was released in the same year as Roxy Music's Country Life album, which is really cool. And it's like saying, what a beautiful world this could be, by Donald Fagen from his 1982 album The Nightfly. Right, so that's that one. And then there's also a song on here called, he also does a cover of She Moved Through the Fair, which is an old traditional song. And then we also have a song on here called Crying in My Sleep, which is like saying Walking in My Sleep, which is a song titled by the frontman in AHSW from 1984's Parting to Be Painless. And then we have All My Love is Laughter, which is another cool song title. All My Love is a song title by Led Zeppelin from 1979's Into the Outdoor, which is pretty cool. And as a matter of fact, on some of these tracks, the Chieftains appear on this. And then there's also David Crosby and Stephen Bishop. And there's also David Campbell, who does the Melbourne, who does the string arrangement, which is really cool. And yeah, that's that one. I like the cover. And you know, Art Garfunkel in my mind didn't do any wrong. I just wish he wrote some songs. Right, so that's that one for you. Just take that back into the box. And now, his next album, Fate for Breakfast, from 1979. Here's the back for you. And this album, of course, features Art Garfunkel's probably his biggest hit single of all time, Bright Eyes, which is used in the film Watership Down. And it is a magnificent song. I wouldn't say it's as good as Bridge Over Troubled Water, but it's still an incredible song. Because Bridge Over Troubled Water, I mean, is Art Garfunkel's greatest vocal of all time. It has to be. So that's that one for you. Then we have a song on here called Take Me Away, which are song titles by both Blue Oyster Cult from 1983's The Revolution by Night, and then by Paul Stanley on his 1978 solo Kiss album. And we have another song on here called Since I Don't Have You, which I think, which is also a song titled by the Cars from their 1979 album Candy-O, which came out in the same year as this record. And yeah. Then there's the opening track, In a Little While I'll Be On My Way. The On My Way is a song titled by Free from their 1970 Highway album. And then Finally Found a Reason is another track on here. It's like saying I Found a Reason by the Bowel Underground from this year's 50th anniversary of the album Loaded, which is a fine album. And then, yeah, there's a lot of other classic ones in here. This is actually the first solo album that Art Garfunkel does that doesn't feature Paul Simon on it. And I forgot to mention, when Art Garfunkel did Watermark, he as in Paul Simon, did the song Slip Sliding Away. And I mean, I'm telling you, that song is so good. Not on an album though, but I wish it was. So yeah, that's that one. So stick it back into the box. Oh god, it's stuck. How can I get it back in? Oh no. Come on, stick it in there. Maybe if you put the disc down like that. There, I think that should do it. Stick it back in there. Come on. Get in there. Get in there. God, this is tough. I hate this box set. I'm only kidding. Right, I'll leave it there for now. And now let's go on to Art Garfunkel's final solo album in this box set. Scissors Cut from 1981. And here's the back. And this album was released in the same year when he reunited with Paul Simon for the concert in Central Park, which is really cool. So let's see what we got in here. So we have, of course, the song Scissors Cut, which is a classic. Then we have A Heart in New York, the second track. New York is also a song titled by U2 from 2000's All That You Can't Leave Behind, which is celebrating 20 this year. And then Talking New York by Bob Dylan from his debut album. And then New York City Serenade by Bruce Springsteen from Wild Days in East Street Shuffle. And then New York, the album titled by Lou Reed. And then New York Groove by Ace Frehley from his 78 solo album from Kiss. And then even New York by the Sex Pistols from the Nevermind the Bollocks album. So that's that one. I like that one. And in fact, Bright Eyes is also on this album too, because it's not on the US version of Fake for Breakfast. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Can't Turn My Heart Away, which is like saying I Can't Turn Back the Years by Phil Collins from 1993's Both Sides, which is pretty cool. And then we have The French Waltz, which is like Take This Waltz by Leonard Cohen from 88's I'm Your Man. And then The Secondary Waltz by Mark Knopfler on 2007's Kill to Get Crimson, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's that record for you. So I'll stick this back into the box, but it's going to be a bit hard now because it's the last one to go in. Come on. Oh no, this is very hard. Come on, stick it in. Come on. Get back in there. There we go. So that's it. That's my Art Garfunkel Original Album Classics unboxing video, which is really cool. Hope you all enjoyed it. And in 1983, Art Garfunkel and Paul Simon were nearly going to have a reunion album with Hearts and Bones, which was going to be Paul Simon on his own. Well, it was Paul Simon on his own, but Art Garfunkel didn't like the session, so he actually walked out during it. And they may have seen each other only rarely since the Simon Garfunkel breakup, and of course, the subsequent solo albums. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe to my channel, leave your comment below on what you think of Art Garfunkel's solo discography, and I'll see you in the forthcoming few weeks or so for more videos. Thank you very much, take care, and bye bye.